Shabla baby. I got my overlays going here. Overlays, yes I do. Boom. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the B&R Racing Network. Here tonight as these top 12 drivers take on Richmond. I'm going to give a little qualifying rundown here. And then the race, no, I just want where they qualify. Oh, I did. So P1 would be Zach Deuscher, P2 would be Paul Witt. Boy, this is a weird freaking look. P2 would be Philip Bridgman, P3 would be Paul Witt, P4 would be Jason Adams, P5 would be Jeff Gilmore, P6 would be Jason Cavney, Danny Story, P7 Larry Blair, P8 Chris Campbell, P9 Robert Cheswick, P10 Paul Cohen 11th, and P12 Koshik. That is the top 12.
And your pronunciation of Jason's, the other Jason's name there is correct.
Is it?
Yes, Cavney.
Yeah.
No.
Cavney?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
You're basically like you're going to a dentist to go get like a cavity. Yeah, but it's without the D. It's like an extra E. Anywho, yes, it was pronounced to me 2 to 3 times earlier, and now I can't even pronounce it straight. So I should just go back to butchering it like I did last week. But yes, 12 drivers here this evening. Unfortunately for Richmond, we don't have a few more. Hopefully in the next few weeks, once they get to a few bigger tracks or what's in scheduled store in the coming weeks, this SRU Truck Series can grow back a bit more, hopefully.
So, well, I do see that Paul Witt has joined the Aerokinetics, unfortunately, crew. See how well this works out. Best of luck to him and on this now longsome, brutal journey. But these guys are great.
Paul Witt.
So.
At least SRU affiliated, basically league teammate for Aerokinetics. I don't know what other leagues Paul runs, but as far as I know, this is the only league that Paul, Phil, and Zach run together in. But still, nevertheless, nice to see, teammates, I guess you could say. We saw teammates years ago, seasons ago, in the SRU Truck Series, back with Isaiah Sutherland and Jason Adams. There was like 4 or 5 of them. Of course, there was sprinkled different teams with other people, but at the moment, that's the best one that comes to mind. And we are off this evening in the SRU Truck Series racing here. This is going to be a day-to-night transition. It was awfully slick in practice from the word of the drivers, but the race forecast is not that, as far as I know. So,
I have a question.
I do believe... What is the question?
So, this team here, that sits 1, 2, 3, right? So, I guess their team is a 2 Fords and a Chevy?
Well, Philip kind of normally just drives a Chevy normally.
Probably because he's comfortable in the Chevy. He's too comfortable in a Ford yet. So, that too, so.
I think he drives a Toyota in Shake and Bake, I think, or maybe a Ford in Shake and Bake. I can't remember which. It's I want to say I think it still is a Toyota over there on Mondays and Shake and Bake, but yeah, it's Philip normally drives Chevrolets for the most part. It's just something, like you said, in a way I think he's just more accustomed to.
Oh yeah. 450. So Zach, dominance performance, yeah. So and it's not going to be too hard to do when there's 11 of you. So. Oh, and there goes Paul Witt.
Got around back, sir.
Oh, I forgot to turn off my. Oh my goodness. That's right. We can have a little audio frenzy tonight.
Don't believe a caution came out for that incident. So Paul's going to try to get back going underway here. It's going to be a hard and long process to try to catch back up. He might fall a lap down due to the damage, or just not too sure. We got 60 laps, if I'm not mistaken, 60 laps until the cop caution. Normally in the SRU series, they race to some type of distance in the first part of the races, and then they throw either a stage caution or a cop caution, yellow flag, regroup the field, and they go back at it again. So everybody should be able to make it no problem on the tank of gas that they have here this evening.
Just earlier, over. Man. I was just too busy trucking. I didn't really even realize what time it was. So it's a good thing you came in. Really. I had no clue.
So, well, it's okay. Time gets the better of everybody at some point or another, Brian. So
I'm guessing this is where the action is at right now between Gilmore and Adams. But yes, we are going to have a little radioactive tonight. I forgot to turn off the comm, so when they start talking, we'll give you guys their little radioactive of what goes on. So
yes, we will try our best to not talk over them, I guess you could say. Kind of do like what F1 or the WEC announcers do whenever radio communication pops up, except the only difference is they know when it happens, we don't, so we have to just hear for it the best of our ability.
Exactly. So this could bring a little interesting scoop to things here.
A little bit.
I forgot to do it, and I was just about to do it too right before it went live, but that's alright. That does happen. So 12 of 150 completed here tonight. Well, Zach Deuscher still setting the pace over teammate Phillip. Then you got Jeff Gilmore. Then you got Jason Adams. Then Jason Caveen. Then there's a long time no see there, Larry Blair. And then Robert Cheswick. Then you got Danny Story. Then Mark Koshik. And then Paul Witt, your top 10.
Haveen, I think. Yes.
Kavney?
No. Yes.
Kaveen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kavney sounds a whole lot better, but it's probably Kaveen.
No. Well, it basically cavity, but with man, cavity. Oh man. Oh, goodness gracious.
It's
but
right,
anyway.
It's all right.
Jeff Gilmore, like you said, got around Jason Adams. Looks like he's setting his sights on Philip Bridgman. How long can Philip Bridgman maintain that second place early going here? We don't have any overlays at the moment, Brian, on the stream.
Oh, good call. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And
hey, sometimes it does that. Sometimes I'm just caught sleeping, I guess.
Well, you just never know if they're having a glitch moment or if you just hadn't put it up. So, big separation from the top four on back to the rest of the field. Now, you kind of want to conserve your tires. Richmond is another track, just like where we were at last night at Phoenix in the B&R Xfinity Series. Richmond, very similar in an essence or in a sense. you really want to conserve the tires here. You don't want to attack, too much, but still enough to where you're there, but at the same time, just conserve those tires. Turn number 2, that the exit, that backstretch wall just comes right out at you, just because of how the racing line proceeds up towards the wall on corner exit. Just how the race truck in this case just kind of floats up towards the wall. Like I said, that is the racing groove or the racing line. So as you can see, Jason either hit the wall right there or had to slow way up in order not to hit the wall, and that allowed, not sure who the white truck is at the moment, that camera angle. I think that's is that Kevin Roy? No, not Kevin Roy, my apologies.
The one that's in front of him now?
Yeah, he just came out the pits
Chris.
not too long ago, I think.
Yeah, that's Chris Campbell.
I think Chris Campbell might have had to run down pit road early going because I saw him out on the apron just a lap or two after the Paul Witt incident. So one would only speculate that he came down pit road for some reason. So I'm not sure if he's on the same lap as Jason.
It could be a possibility. Actually, no. He is currently 3 laps down.
So, like I thought, as he did come down pit road at the beginning of the race, or maybe just possibility he didn't load in properly.
Awesome. Sorry, it took me a bit to get the overlays back going again, and we got it going back, so that's a plus. I don't know if it's back up there. It is. Awesome. 24 of 150 in the books, Will.
So, just about 25 laps in of 150 here this evening.
Yes, sir.
So, like I said earlier, Paul Witt coming dangerously close to being a lap down early on. That may happen. Paul Witt, he's not normally the short track racer that some may think, whenever you consider who might be in the running here this evening for a Richmond win. More of an intermediate type of driver. He would even probably tell you that as well. And just probably had a slippery moment. Maybe tires weren't up to temp, or just maybe had a bit too much wheel in it on corner exit. What was that, lap 2 or 3 early on there? So that's what has him so far off the pace. But the 26 back here being devoured at the moment, Larry Blair, in the new color scheme. He's got a new paint scheme. Instead of Valvoline, it's now Shell Pennzoil on that truck. So almost in a way could be teammates with Josh Smalls, if Josh was running here in the SRU, but or even in BNR. If Larry goes over there, Josh runs the Pennzoil schemes, not necessarily be teammates, but paint scheme mates, I guess.
Yes.
But
Will, we see a couple of faces here that we are very familiar with that run over here, and as well as over in the BNR side of things. You got Zach Deutscher, you got Bridgman, you got Gilmore, you got Adams, you got Cam. All great drivers that come over throughout the weeks to get the field to where it needs to be. A lot of these guys know each other very well. Raced with each other for seasons and seasons on that. We know when SRU gets the bigger fields, their aggression is a lot more calmer than on the BNR side of things. You know this. You know a lot of the guys on the BNR side. You know how, aggressively they can be. And the two of those are currently first and second. But, oh wait, please tell me I stopped the Spotify Metallica ain't playing. Oh my god. Oh, I did. Oh, thank God. Anywho, but yes, you'll see a lot more familiar faces tonight, and then you'll see them tomorrow, and then a couple of weeks. But Richmond will, since they are still green and beforehand, go ahead and give that little, because unfortunately we did start a little bit late, so, which is my apologies. We were trying to figure out stuff, but that's all right. Why don't you go ahead to the viewers who are watching? I can't see how many there is, but to those who are watching, give the history background of Richmond, Virginia track.
Well, yes, indeed, Brian. The track, Richmond, Virginia. This speedway has been located in this spot since, I want to say, 1992. This is actually a reconfiguration because the original Richmond Raceway was, I want to say, slightly shorter than this speedway, if I'm not mistaken. Richmond Fairgrounds. So the fairgrounds here actually set, if I'm not mistaken, just basically behind where this speedway lays, or it might be a bit just reworked. It was also flatter. It had a little bit of degree of banking, but it was relatively almost flat for the most part. The fairgrounds, I want to say it was the second oldest track on the NASCAR schedule besides Martinsville. So that goes to tell you something a little bit there, hopefully. Neil Bonnet, if I'm not mistaken, was the last driver to win here before they went to this configuration. As far as the track that you see now, basically Neil Bonnet was the last driver to win on the fairground configuration on Hoosier tires. Back whenever NASCAR had a tire war going on in its racing series, or at the cup level. And so that's a little bit of insight there as well. I'm trying to remember track win record holder. I think might be Richard Petty. I'm awfully trying to remember my Richmond. Yeah, I think he has almost the same amount of wins here as he does North Wilkesboro. I think. I'm really trying. I'm hard pressed to remember at the moment, Brian, but that's all right. That's neither really here nor there, but yeah. First race under the lights, I want to say, was in 93. It might have been 92 though as well, whenever this configuration was brought to form. But yeah, been this way ever since 1992, I do believe. They have redone or facelifted the infield a little bit, like the garage area, the paddock area, that area of the track or the facility, I guess you could say, has been redid a little bit.
Richard Petty.
Basic. Do what?
Richard Petty.
Yes. I want to say he's got 10 wins here.
13.
Like I said, 13. I was off by a few, but like I said, he's got more wins, I think, at North Wilkesboro than here. But yes, Richard Petty, track record holder with wins, not with the speed, but I think Ryan Newman may hold the track record for pole here in the Cup Series. I'm trying to remember that as well, but yeah, that's the best amount of knowledge I could spit out for Richmond at this moment, besides having to go back and double check and do the research.
Well, I tell you what, Zach pulled on Phillip.
Yeah, Zach's up to a 6-second lead. Gilmore's only 2 seconds behind Phillip, about 8 seconds behind the race leader, as Paul Witt has got some get up and go in his step. He got back in a groove, got going again, and got past Story and Jason in 26. I'll just say Adams in the 24 so we don't confuse the two Jasons, because I'm having too many difficulties pronouncing his last name. Anywho, so yes, very surprised that Gilmore at this moment not really running down Bridgman, maybe just conserving that tire, just getting to that lap 60 comp caution. This is really what you're doing at the moment. You're just riding around, logging laps, trying to get to that comp caution. Looks like Robert Cheswick will be the next competitor to go a lap down to the 21 machine.
Yes, sir, indeed will.
Paul Witt's not too far ahead of Robert, but
Gilmore, so the closest, I don't even know, the closest, I would say Adams and Cossack.
yes, that's the closest at this moment, but knowing Mark, that probably won't be too much of a fight at this particular time, but you never can tell. They might start getting kind of racy between the two. Man, this heat wave down here, or you know, in the part of the south, just I'm about already over that. I just wish winter would already just come and stay
here, right?
At this point. Yes.
Yeah, we're now starting to get that air quality starting to hit us here with that stuff that's going on from Canada. So it's been doing a number to a few people here, and a lot of ambulances running out today and all that other stuff. Brutal.
Kind of similar to whenever Mount St. Helen erupted. Where's that at? Like up in Washington or Alaska? I can't remember.
I want to say Washington, but I could be wrong. Could be. So
it might be in Washington. But yeah, I heard stories from my grandfather back in the day. You know, like the soot, or at least you know the smoke from it got down here back in the day, or it just got spread across the country. So that's kind of similar to what has transpired over there in the Nova Scotia area of Canada. Just either, I'm not sure how that wildfire started, whether it was man-made or lightning struck somewhere out in the forest. But, oh man, Mark had a hard hit into the wall about a lap or so ago, Brian. That was a huge hit.
I saw that. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, but Zach is coming kind of close. They're kind of in danger of being a lap here, or being put down a lap.
But they got 5 laps, Will. 5 laps.
I'm very surprised at the pace that Zach has been able to set here this evening. I know we're about 54 laps into this race, But Zach isn't normally one to be a short track type of person. I'm not saying that he normally struggles. Well, he normally struggles on the short tracks, is what I'm trying to say. He isn't normally up front in the lead, but like you said earlier this evening, only 11 people started. 11 drivers took part.
I don't think I had any rubber on the rims at all.
As we just heard one of the drivers say his tires are just gone away.
Oh man. There's the leader.
Well, SRU Truck Series, they do have, I want to say, 2 quick fixes in this series.
Yeah. So that looked like Jason Adams.
Catch up, guys.
I don't know.
Hey, catch up, please.
That was Jason in the 26 that said he didn't have any tires on his truck. Basically, he just had no grip, I do believe. It little bitty like audio bar thing pops up, Brian, on the screen.
Catch up to the cars in front of you.
Does it? There you go.
26.
So
open for you, bud.
So I'm just looking. If I was Jason, I would have kept her down on the bottom there instead of washing her back up. But yet again, it happens. You can't really see, and so.
Well, I think Jason, he was trying to wrangle a hold of control of his truck after that vicious just got really tight. It looks like on the corner exit of 2, and maybe perhaps the smart idea would have been to maybe slam on the brake or just back out of it before you went in there and cold cocked Paul Witt like he did, but things happen awful quick, spur of the moment, and while trying to keep control of the truck, just kind of, like you said, walked it up the track into Paul, and a wreck occurred. So, not trying to put Jason under the bus or nothing, just explaining how it looked from my point of view, which is just sitting in a lazy boy recliner. But
anyway, let's try to talk to Zach real quick, and then we can get back to it. Because I think some of the a lot of these pace laps iRacing shrunk down. So, and there he is, Mr. Zach.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Well, Zach, this is basically going to be the competition caution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so comp caution and first caution all in one. So you kind of had a front row seat for that. What did it look like from your point of view, I think, right?
Just tired racing. That's all it was.
Indeed, I have to agree with that. Jason really banged the... So you qualified on pole here. Kind of dominant performance. You kind of got away from your teammate there, Richmond. About 7-8 second lead before this caution came out, if not more. We were really focused on that battle that you were catching up on, so I kind of was letting everything by for a moment. But Zach, how's it hanging? How's it handling and everything else, man?
Like normal, this car is on rails. Whatever my team does, man, they have been on point, and this momentum is definitely showing.
I know it's a small field this evening, unfortunately, but, you think we might see some more cautions, or it's just going to keep being laid back and relaxed and just drawn out here?
I think we might see 1 or 2 more, maybe 1. It's not over with yet.
Are you good to go on fuel from this point?
No, we're all going to pit. I'm about 10, 11 laps short right now.
All right, so you thinking maybe cut this in half, or maybe just wait till basically just run it out?
I'm going to try to cut it in half a little bit. I'll see how my car is doing when that point comes.
All right, well, best of luck to you. Thanks for talking to us, and go get them, Zach.
Thanks, guys.
Well, so as they come back to green with 62 laps of 150, and Zach will lead on the green right there, right inside that box there, and they are back green here, Will.
Well, that's back green racing once again here at Richmond SRU Truck Series. They all file into turns 1 and 2 here. Let's see if anyone, now that we got to the caution, that was also the first caution of the evening. A bit of a combination, I guess you could say, of the two. Gonna see if Philip or anyone really in general behind that 21 machine is going to be able to stay in tow with Deutscher. At this moment in time, I know it's just a restart, but he slowly inching away ever so slightly as they're kind of getting racy a little bit behind him, but not too much. Larry Blair, though, I think he really improved. He might be possibly the biggest winner. Him and Robert Cheswick, I would have to say, maybe the two biggest winners of this most recent caution. Philip really struggled. I would have to say that Philip in that number 5 truck really struggling on corner exit. We saw turn number 4. He just really, I guess, bobbly, really twitchy. So that really leads to trying to get the power down while still maybe having the wheel a little bit, cranked to one side. Mainly the left side, because you're turning left. But anyway, so half the field is a lap down or more because Campbell, that's 3 laps down in the 68, but 6 trucks on the lead lap at the moment. But decent spread except for second and third. You got Gilmore there on the back, Bridgman being an ever-present thing. Paul Witt trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. He's 4th truck on circuit, but he is the first truck 1 lap down. So if a caution was to magically appear, he would definitely get the lap back, but everybody's kind of single file at this moment, so I don't see a caution occurring. Yeah, Zach Deutscher really has a good piece here this evening. I haven't really seen him struggle coming off the corner as far as, the front of the nose or the truck just being, twitchy or bobbly. He's just able to set the pace.
Oh, yeah. 7150 will, as you said, half the field a lap down. I've noticed since every race that we called, Paul Coheen has yet to be able to make the race. That's right. Didn't you say he's like a RC or?
I'm not sure if Paul Coheen is the race control, race director, however you prefer to word it, or if it's someone else. I think it might be Coheen though. So that's only pure speculation. I truly need to ask one day. Out of all the other questions I asked before the race, I never get around to asking that, I guess.
That's all right. I know there's a lot of things we ask beforehand, and which is normally a lot of good knowledge. So
Gilmore keeping pace with Bridgman here in this stint of the race after that first caution of the evening. But the front straightaway here at Richmond isn't really a straightaway. It's more just like a big giant curve, just a slight curve. You are going straight, but it's a curved straight. It's not really a dog leg like we saw last night at Phoenix. It's just a curved straightaway. So you're pretty much turning for 70 to 75% of the lap, while coming off of turn 2, that's when you truly go straight on this track. And so Richmond can be quite tricky at times because definitely coming off of turn 4, you do want to plant that wheel or have your wheel straight as can be for the most part to get yourself up out of the corner, but you don't necessarily want to stay there. Gilmore made the pass on Philip Bridgman. Philip, I wouldn't really say, rolled over, but, just gentlemanly, let him by. Have to see if Gilmore's pace here is going to be substantial enough or quick enough to be able to run down the 21 truck, or he might just kind of stabilize there in second place.
I think Philip might be able to maintain right where he's at. I don't know. I don't know if he backed off to save to try to make it to the end, because Philip is very good at doing that, saving enough to get to the end. So we'll just have to wait and see how things shake out, and hopefully
there might be a slight possibility of a chance of that working here this evening, Brian. Never can tell, but yeah, Philip Bridgman in the 5. If anyone could possibly do it, it might be Phil. But you also have to maintain a reasonable delta to the race leader.
Oh yeah, which is
Mark Kosick in the pit. Yes, it's very important. Just like we talked about last week at Pocono, kind of short pitting to where you can come out still on the lead lap from the race leader, not lose a lap.
Exactly, boy. It's gonna be hotter than crazy on Tuesday. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Sunday or Monday is when our heat wave is supposed to kind of be over, as far as the real fill temperatures being over 110 or 105.
Yeah. I know.
I tell you, man.
The weather's been brutal down there in Texas.
Oh yeah, it's basically very similar circumstances from Texas all the way Alabama, Georgia, some parts of Florida.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I got family down there in Florida. They said it's brutal.
Oh man, it really is. It's something else, I tell you what.
And I hate the heat. I hate it. I rather freeze, really. I
tell you, the weather is awful. Can be awful, something fierce when it gets too cold down in Florida to where the iguanas or something starts falling out of the trees.
Oh yeah, especially down there in Florida. I think that's where they're really big at. Yeah, once you see those iguanas start tumbling over like that, that's way too hot.
And then they do the same thing whenever it's cold as well.
But as you see here, Will, you have... Who's that? Paul Witt, or is that... Oh, that's Paul Witt. Paul Witt is in front of Gilmore here. Not for position, but Witt trying to get his lap back. And he knows he got by Gilmore and trying to set his eyes on a leader. But Zach Deusser is leading this field all the way. Led every lap, I do believe, so far. Almost 6 seconds over Gilmore. That's called setting the pace. Kind of just like Caleb on Tuesday at Coda. He was just setting the pace. So
Well, Philip Bridgman hasn't really gone too far away from Gilmore. He's not let Gilmore out of his sight, so in a way that's a still a clear and present battle at the moment. May not look like it, but I guess you could say it's a Formula One style battle. They may not be neck and neck or side by side, but they're close enough to say, "Ooh, look at him! He's there within reason."
Yeah. His spotter's saying, mode push, mode push. Oh, but he pushed too hard. Yeah, a little slippy.
Yeah, he pushed so hard he almost became a push mower in the grass down there.
Mm-hmm.
From the looks of things.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Jason again. Almost off. And Phil's back of his truck gets very happy, like it wants to snap loose. So he's putting a lot more. How I notice how the trucks are. Excuse me. How I notice how the trucks are. If you gonna wear your stuff out, it's gonna start slipping out from underneath you. And it's just every few laps you'll catch Philip's back of his truck slip out from underneath of him. So, I mean, pace yourself and you'll be alright. That's for sure.
Sometimes the front might come around quicker than the rear. You gotta watch out. Just, that comes in handling, like we mentioned earlier, as far as just basically keeping the wheel input into it while getting back into the throttle. You really want to make sure that the nose is settled when you get back into the throttle.
So Philip is shutting his truck off. I just heard that. Philip is shutting his truck off. He's trying to do everything he can to save. Because you can hear where the engine is on and then it goes, ooh. So he's shutting it off, letting it roll, turning it back on, letting her bite.
Currently, Zach Deutscher has the entire length of the front straightaway from turn number 4 to turn number 1. Length of distance between him and second and third place. So if that gives you any indication of the size of that 8.5 second lead, that is hopefully the graph of which we could tell, kind of present to you in a way.
Yes, Will, that is a great explanation of
illustration.
Yes.
If only Jason Adams wasn't a lap down, he could be in the fight here. Oh, excuse me, you're yawning, I'm burping. He could be in the mix here for, third place with Bridgman, but just not on the cards at the moment. Doesn't even, it's still kind of early on. We still got 50 some odd laps to go. But at this moment in time, doesn't look like we're going to get another caution.
No.
Looks like might just be one and done at the moment.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's sometimes how the SRU Truck Series can go. They might just have that comp caution or one caution before or after, sometime in or about, there, and they really keep it clean for the most part.
Oh yeah, but they ain't got too much aggression through the fields, so which works out, which brings you racing just like this. Relax, pace yourself, and set the pace.
handful of drivers here this evening that are unfortunately not here that you would think would be here. David Cassidy, Terry Duguay, just to name a couple. I think Cassidy might have had to have worked today, so that could be a good reason of why he's not here.
Yeah. Or maybe Jim, but Jim is busy, you know, handling things.
Yeah, Jim
and
Colmansberger.
trucking. You know, it happens. I mean, everybody has the freedom and will to do whatever they want. So, not everybody can, you know, race on their, when it's, you know, all the schools are out, they got the kids and a lot of graduations for sure. So it's summertime now. They like to enjoy it with the family, which is very understandable. And we don't hold that towards anybody. They have the right to choose when they race, when they come, when they please. So that's how we
Now
like
perhaps,
to leave it.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. You're good. You're good.
Gilmore now perhaps maybe saving a bit of gas or tire, perhaps. Only one can assume. We don't fully know. But Philip Bridgman got back by Gilmore there, so Philip goes back into second place. And with that gap coming down slightly, I know Zach was in and amongst passing some lap traffic, but he might be saving a little bit as well. That gap did come down a few tenths.
Oh yeah, pushed early, saved towards the end. That could happen because now that gives him a little bit of a breather between first and second. So. Well, we can do our little cutaway section for now and let them listen to the sounds of these truckers.
All right, man. Sounds like a good deal here.
Six pick.
Alright, Phil, sorry about that. We are back. Because I know his pit stops are starting to happen here.
Yeah, the kind of cut them in half, I guess, pit sequence that Zach was alluding to earlier. Basically, for the most part, everybody has made a pit stop except for Jason Adams and Philip Bridgman, I do believe.
Just as you say that, here comes Jason Adams.
So, yep.
But Philip Will is still staying out.
Don't know if that strategy is going to be race-winning strategy. Only time will tell, as Zach Deuscher already back on the lead lap. Got back around Philip, so, and he's already at least 2 seconds. If you look at the track map and try to make out the driver by the initials, you could see Zach's already pulled away by at least, I would say, 2 seconds, if not more, 2.5 seconds. So I would have probably came into pit when Zach did. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, if he can do it,
because
then God bless him.
I mean, there is a slight chance that he could make this race or go all the
all the distance.
Go the distance. Yes, go the distance here.
I got you.
Just that one caution stop earlier.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of work to be done inside that truck, like you said, cutting it off, clutching it, coasting, and that takes a lot of time away. I know we're closing in on 25 to go. Will Deuscher have enough time to be able to get back around to Philip within this amount of time? By the way that he is already ate some of that gap up, that deficit. I tell you, it'd be really something, be real intriguing, interesting, whatever word you choose to use, if Philip can, per se, do this, but...
Hey, if he does it, God bless him. I mean, because strategy's key. Just about 25 laps to go here at this current time. So, anything is possible.
But in a way, Brian, you would almost have to think or speculate, guess, assume that if you was to do something like this type of strategy, that you would almost have to start saving, right as the next green flag. Yeah, exactly. Either that or right after you
yes, but like right after
you would leave your pit box or leave pit road, start saving fuel perhaps, or just at the drop of the green flag. But good possibility Philip probably started saving fuel when Gilmore passed him for that second place there after. It was about, about 10 to 12 laps after they got back green, I want to say. Gilmore passed him for that second place. So Zach is just now basically 11 and a half seconds back from Bridgman. So 23 laps to go, 22 I think now at the line.
Yes, sir. 22 laps to go, Will, here tonight in the SRU Craftsman Truck Series, brought to you by the B&R Racing Network from Richmond International Raceway. Yeah, Raceway.
Yep.
I almost said Speedway. That's what it used to be, but it's Raceway. And the OK state of Virginia. So I'm going to tell you something about Virginia. When we would go, now listen, when we would go back home to go, back to Jersey, Virginia is the most, I don't know if you've ever been through Virginia, but Virginia is the most boring state ever. You get nothing besides a bunch of trees for, Gilmore's trying to say something. That's why I stopped. But a bunch of trees for the whole 2.5, 3 hours that you're in that state. But the good thing is to where you see majority of your stuff is Richmond. You got the nice city background there, and you got the hospitals. You got all your warehouses and all your like beer buildings and stuff like that right in Richmond. So you get all that, and then your next hour and a half to 2 hours, you're just staring at trees. But Richmond's a good part when coming through, but then after that, that's just like, I wonder how Martinsville can be, or, it's just like, but Richmond's a good scenery around there and all that. I think there's a little knowledge. As many times have I been through Richmond, or sorry, Virginia.
Well, the furthest I've ever been to the east
He's pitting out.
is Concord, Charlotte, North Carolina area. That's as far as I have been. I have been to Charlotte International Airport. I've been to Charlotte Motor Speedway, which of course is in Concord. So, no, he was just recovering from that massive slide he had in turn 2, Brian.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. I figured that he was pitting because the way he took that entry in there, and well, just like as you said, Zach is now a second behind him now, so this is about the
fresh tires. He's got the fuel that he needs to go the distance, so I don't see, Phillips kind of made his bed. He's laying in it. I don't see why he would pit, because if he pitted, he would probably lose a ton of track position. So the best thing possible, just try to stay out and finish ahead of Gilmore here is like the best bet possible. But even then, does Gilmore have a chance to take second away from him would be the next question.
I don't know. He's shaking that car to keep that fuel going. That's what that jitter thing is.
I don't know if it's that. I mean, it could be that as well, but it just could be, how worn those tires could be, as he's trying to stay out of everybody's way in a sense, but...
Oh, yeah.
So, Deutscher back to the lead, now under 15 laps to go, 13 to go, I do believe, so... Just a matter of time before... 13, yes, 13 laps to go. It was just a matter of time before Deutscher ran down and caught teammate Philip Bridgman, as Philip out here on really no man's land island, just out here on his own strategy, own accord, just trying to get the best finished result possible, really, in his eyes, I would have to say, and he might be able to maintain that second place, but it's really coming into question, as Gilmore is only 8 seconds back now from Bridgman, so Bridgman might just have to walk away with just a podium finish here.
Oh, yeah. Shooby-dooby-doo.
10 laps remaining, Brian. Like I said, coming into this race, I did not foresee it being a runaway, breakout, dominant performance by Zach Deutscher, because like I said, to my knowledge, Zach wasn't really always hot on the short tracks, but I guess, sometimes you get really good or lucky, or perhaps just a mixture. Oh, wow. Combination of the sorts. Philip still gliding like a World War II glider. As Gilmore now coming into reason or threat. Just a few seconds away is Gilmore from Richmond. Basically a turn's length. As I guess iRacing cameras just want to show us the battle of the lap down cars.
Yep. 7 to go, Will.
Is it 6 or 7? It could be 5.
6. Coming to 5.
Wow.
I guess I had a little hiccup there.
All good? Yeah, compared to live, compared to live from the broadcast, it is a lap worth of down from broadcast to live. So
4 laps to go. So Gilmore
you
finally
pulling up.
Good.
I was just gonna say, you pulling that up, it makes it lag on Discord, like it makes it like stop and start.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, that's why I just say, just have like the iRacing window,
Hey, 3 laps to go. This evening, night, or tonight, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, this Friday evening tonight. Hey, tonight. Anyway, my singing voice, I'll stop with that. Gilmore got by Bridgman. So that was to be expected, as Bridgman, like we said, he's just out here gliding more or less. 2 laps to go, or is that white flag? It's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, all right. So 3 trucks, surprisingly, will finish on the lead lap here. Zach Deutscher, where's Zach? He is
right there. Zach just coming to the line right here.
Yep, white flag.
And Phillips out of gas. And that just put Paul Witt to move to P3. Oof.
Is Phillips out of gas?
Yes,
he is. Oh, wow. Ooh, oh boy. So, man, at the line, Zach Deutscher wins the race, but at the line, Philip Bridgman got passed by Paul Witt at the line. Oh, wow. Philip ran out of gas about maybe a half a lap, maybe a lap before the checkered, and got passed by new fellow teammate and competitor Paul Witt, who basically was on the back foot ever since about lap 4, lap 3, after he had that whoa Nelly of a moment coming out of turn 2. And the official race results here this evening. Oh, that's qualified, Brian.
Oh, it is.
Yep, that's okay.
There it is.
So, Zach Deutscher, Paul Witt. Oh, my apologies. Jeff Gilmore, Paul Witt. Then Philip Bridgman.
Yep, then Larry Blair, then Jason Adams, then Robert Cheswick, then Danny Story, Jason Cavine. We're not even going to get on that one.
Cavany.
Cavany.
There we go. I pronounced it right finally. Jason Cavany. Anywho, Mark Cossack rounds out the top 10, then Chris Campbell and speculated race director Paul Coheen. Like I said, I'm going to get to the bottom of that one day, actually find out if he is the race director. So, talk to our podium finishers, and we'll close out the evening.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get the sunset like we were expecting. I was told, we'll get the race in, start the day, and then under the lights, someone, Jason Adams, told me a lie.
Well, see, Jason could be phenomenal for that. It's just Jason.
Wow, throw him under a double-decker, why don't you? I was just throwing him underneath a taxi cab. You just threw him underneath a Greyhound. Anyway, we got Paul. Who did we bring up first, Brian?
Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Kind of a struggling night for you this evening at Richmond.
Yeah, I'm not very good at Richmond. I wish I didn't have that mishap at the beginning of the race, but it happened to pull off a third place. I can't be more pleased.
Yeah, you drove back through the field. You got a third. Your new fellow teammate there, Philip. He tried to give it all she had with the full tank of gas there on the caution/comp caution restart there, and unfortunately, you were able to sneak. Well, fortunately for you, unfortunately for him, you were able to sneak by him there, coming through 3 and 4. He ran out of fuel. We do believe on the final lap, so just wasn't able to make it all the way. But Paul, tell us about your mishap, and then just how you were trying to just be on the back foot from the rest of that point on.
Well, on the mishap, I was coming out of 2, and I just gave it a little bit too much gas, and it went around on me a little bit. And I tried getting it going. I was stuck to the wall. I finally got it off the wall and got going. And I thought I was going to be okay till that for the competition caution. I thought I was going to be okay and stay on the lead lap because I was just staying right in front of Zach there. And then Jason and I had the mishap, and
yeah, you got blindsided by a Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, and then of course Zach had hit me too, so that put me the lap down, and but it was an unfortunate, but to still come off with a third place, and I just fought hard all night long, so can't thank everybody enough here. We had a good race here.
Yeah, I would have to say pretty good race, although wish there was a few more competitors in the field. I always hate it whenever there's, just a small field, but sometimes that can be some good racing. Paul, tell us a little bit what you were struggling with, if you don't mind, if you had some things that you were trying to overcome in the race.
The only thing I was trying to overcome was getting my lap back. The truck felt fine all night long. It got a little tight the later on in the run, but it wasn't over tight like a lot of guys were saying that they were chattering the front end and everything. I didn't have that problem tonight on the chattering of the front end. So the tire wear, I had great tire wear.
Well, congratulations on that final step on the podium finish, that third place this evening. Best of luck to you next week. I'm not too fully sure where you guys go next week for the.
Next week we got a fun race.
That's
everybody comes in.
It's another one of those just for fun, non-points paying events of the SRU Truck Series season. So. Best of luck to you next week if you're there. You got any shout-outs yes, got any shout-outs, Paul?
Yeah, I just got a shout-out to all my family that are watching. I've got a few people watching. Shout-out to, my mom and dad. they sit there and watch all the races that are televised, and so they support me pretty well. My wife, and got to thank everybody here, Jason and Mark, for doing the league here, and thank you guys for broadcasting.
Well, thank you for being a part of the series, or else we wouldn't have too much to talk about, I don't think, Paul. So, like I said, thanks for being here and also talking to us after the race, Paul. Congratulations again.
Thank you guys. Oh, and I got to thank my teammates too, Zach and Philip. We did pretty good tonight.
Yeah, you did. Top 5 in total. Well, top 4. So.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you next week if you show up, and
I'll be here
the rest of the season. Hopefully, see you then, Paul.
Yep, we'll see you guys. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh,
Thanks.
all right.
Shout out to Paul's family as well.
Gilmore is not on. That's okay. So I guess we'll talk to Zach.
All right, Gilmore. Unfortunately, I guess didn't stick around.
That's right, Zach did.
What's up?
Zach, got a copy. Hey, Zach, dominant performance here. Almost uncharacteristically dominant short track performance. At least to my knowledge, you always tell me all the time. For the most part, I'm not too good at short tracks. But here we are at Richmond, and you just kind of dominated this evening. Tell us about how you did it, Zach.
Oh, it's all about saving tires and letting the truck do all the work. My truck was on rails, so for the most part, just keeping out front and maintaining a good average pace to keep everybody else behind you.
Well, I mean, there wasn't too much action here this evening, so not too much to ask or talk about. But really, were you struggling with anything in particular this evening, Zach? As far as truck handling, or maybe having to back up the corner a little bit more than normal, or
Yeah, after about 40 plus laps, I started getting a little loose on exit. But other than that, I was never really tight or had to really start checking up early or nothing.
Well, next week is just another one of those SRU Truck Series fun runs, non-points paying event, if I'm not mistaken. Not too sure where the track is, so can't really ask you questions about that. So, got anything else you'd like to add? Maybe give some shout-outs, or just, Brian, any questions that I don't know at the moment?
No, not really. I mean, really wasn't, just like you said, there really wasn't too much to talk about or anything besides a dominant performance out of Zach. Sorry, I've been trying to keep up with all my truck logs and bookings and stuff like that. Did you think Philip was
going to be able to go the distance? He was really staying out there long. Do you know when he started to save the fuel?
Oh, like 10 to 12 laps after we got going. Not even, maybe like 8. He was saving almost instantly from what I heard.
Yeah, probably could have been a little bit sooner, perhaps, to actually at least finish on the podium, because from the looks of it, I think he ran out going down the back straightaway or coming out of turn 2, and that is what gave Paul that kind of slip by to get third. Else he probably would have finished on the podium. I didn't think, by the time you came out, got your fresh tires, you got your lap back, I didn't think he would be able to sustain being out front. He was really gliding through the track. He almost looked like a kite out there on a windy day, more or less, Zach. But, yeah. What were you going to say, Zach? I'm sorry.
I'm just agreeing with you.
But, yeah, go back to if you had any shout-outs or anything else if you wanted to add.
Shout out to SRU for hosting this fun league. It's very fun. If you're looking for a fun time, come join. You guys for putting up the broadcast. Always fun to watch during and after for the replays. Shout out to my team. We have a really good run. Paul and Philip, all top 5s. Shout out to some other friends. Also, Philip again, Philip's girlfriend, Tommy. All those guys' support is always needed.
So you're saying Tom? I'm just kidding. I won't go there. My bad. I started to. I'll backtrack. So Yeah,
Win
dominant
Tony,
performance,
dominant.
Zach. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, congratulations, Zach, on the win here this evening. Hopefully, you just been racking up the wins. If there was actual trophies presented for all these wins, man, you would
They would
not
have a
have
lot.
any room in your bedroom, probably.
Mm.
That's for sure. So, like I said last night, hopefully you can just keep carrying this momentum on and on and on like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah,
That's the
tomorrow,
plan.
you got Phoenix in the DNR Cup Series, so more momentum being carried there by you, Zach. Congratulations and just best of luck going forward in the rest of the SRU Truck Series season.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for talking to us as well.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. You have yourself a good one, Zach.
You too, guys.
Yep. But anyway, that is easy to do, to dominate a field when you cap it off, Will, to a certain cap limit, to where nothing higher than a certain amount could come in, then you get the same ordeal that goes on here. But that's how a lot of leagues run their side, and everybody's different. They prefer the I rating cap, and that's just that. So anyway, Will, I'll let you take it away.
Yes, indeed, Brian. Have to agree with you partially there as well. But we would like to thank each and every one of you, myself, Will Roberts, Brian Hunt, coming out and rooting on, cheering on your favorite SRU Truck Series competitor here this evening. And like Zach said, if anybody would want to be a part of this Truck Series or this league in general, and try to notify Jason Adams or Mark Kosick any way you can, so you can be a part of this league. But until then, whether we're here next week or should be definitely back the week after if we're not here next week, not fully
Tuesday,
sure.
we're not here. Thursday will be.
Okay, not going to be here
Sunday.
Tuesday. But so Sunday and Thursday are the remainder. Anywho,
For the B&R side.
yes, indeed. But until then, we would like to wish everybody a